Hello. Okay, so welcome to 3.3, factoring trinomials in A is 1. If you were to ask me what's the most important lesson that will get taught in Algebra 2, that is today. That is this lesson. It truly is. So, all right, so warm up, questions 1 and 2 are, can you multiply? This is what we did last time, where you had to multiply a binomial, meaning two things, times two things. So I'm going to do the first one. All right, so x times x is x squared, okay? X times -6 is -6x. 4 times x is 4x. And positive 4 times -6 is -24. And then you would combine like terms. -6x plus 2x is -2x minus 24. And that's it. That is the answer for number 1. That's basically what you do for number 2 also, but be careful. A negative times a negative is positive. Now, as for questions 3 and 4, questions 3 and 4, you actually have to solve for the variable, and this is something we did also last class, is now you got to find what is the greatest common factor of the two terms you see. I will do 4. You can do 3. So what is the greatest common factor of 6a squared and 42a? It is 6a. They're both divisible by 6a. And so 6a squared divided by 6a is a. Negative 42a divided by 6a is -7. So now you have that question. You have 6a equals 0. So this creates two different questions. 6a equals 0. That makes, well, a is 0 because you divide both sides by 6. And then you have the question of a minus 7 equals 0. You add 7 to both sides, you get 7. So that actually means a is two things. A is 0, and it is 7. Yeah. Okay, so before we factor trinomials, I just kind of need to make sure you can do prime factorization and so on. All right, so today's goal is to factor trinomials. To be good at that, you must know how to get the factors of numbers. There are two ways to show factors, a prime factorization tree or a t-chart of factors. Okay, I cannot accurately make a prime factorization tree using Desmos, so let me see if I can just like Google images one. So prime factorization tree. All right, let's say we want the prime factorization tree of 36. What's it look like? All right, so this is kind of how it looks like. So you start with the number, and then if it's an even number, divide by 2. All right, and then 36 divided by 2 is 18. And 18 is a number where you can actually continue to get factors of it. It is, that's also divisible by 2. You get 9. And 9 is a number that you can also get factors of, and they are 3 and 3. So that creates that 36 is 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. And via that, you're able to actually find all the factors of 36, actually. Like 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, so 4 times 9. 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 3 is 6, 6 times 6 is 36. That's another way to do it. 2 times 18. So, all right, so you can do that with 48. Now, t-chart of factors of 48, I can't really, I can do that. I should show you the table. All right, so let's say I'm making a t-chart of 48. So t-chart is like making a vertical table. Like you make a nice little t, like lowercase t, put the number 48. So imagine the number 48 is here. All right, so I know 48 is 1 times 48. That's easy. Now, 48 is divisible by 2, so if I go to a calculator, what is 48 divided by 2? It's 24. Now, instead of like breaking down 24 over and over and over again, I mean, we could, but also like just kind of test it out. Is 48 divisible by 3? It is. If you use a calculator, you find out it is 16. Is 48 divisible by 4? Yeah, it is. That is 4 times 12. Is it divisible by 5? No, it is not divisible by 5. Is it divisible by 6? Yes, it is, and that's 6 times 8. And it's not divisible by 7, so that is actually all the factors of 48. This is actually all the factors. So this is what the t-chart would look like. Instead of saying x1 and y1, it would just say 48 up here, and then here are all the factors of 48. Okay, so your ability to do this is going to make the doing this with variables is dramatically easier. It will, trust me. So I like to kind of see if you can do the t-chart factors of these four numbers. I mean, you don't have to make the prime factorization tree, but if you feel like it helps, it might help. Go ahead. That'd be nice. Now I'll just kind of help with one of them. Like let me do 45 for you. All right, so 45 is an odd number. Is 45 going to be divisible by well, it's definitely 1 and 45. Like that's 1 times 45. Is it divisible by 2? No, it's an odd number. Is it divisible by 3? Yeah, it is. You do 45 divided by 3, you find out it's 15. Let's see. Not for 5. Divisible by 5. Yeah, it's 5 and 9. And I'm pretty dang sure that's it. It's not divisible by 6 or 7 or 8. So that's it. Those are all the factors of 45 right there. But it wouldn't just be the positive ones. It would also be the negative ones. It would be positive and negative 1, positive and negative 45, and so on. Okay. All right, now let's get to the real goal of today, and that's your ability to factor trinomials. Okay, so trinomial means there are three things: a squared, ax squared, bx, and c. That is three things. All right, so to factor a trinomial in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, find two integers. Okay, this is silly. I don't want. Okay, so first up, you got to figure out what is a times c. All right, so a times c means, like, for example, x squared plus 7x plus 10. A is 1. A is 1, meaning this is 1x squared. For today, a is always going to be 1. Today, a is always equal to 1. C is 10. So what is AC? Well, AC is 10. Okay, what factors of AC have a sum of B? All right, so that's really the big question you got to ask yourself is what factors of this number times, well, it's just 1, so that's really just this number 10, add up to 7. Okay, so let's do factors of 10. Okay, so we got 1 times 10. That's 10. But the sum of these, the sum means you add them, that adds up to 11. So it's not 1 and 10. 2 times 5 is 10. All right, those are 2 and 5 are both factors of 10. And also they add up to 7. So these are the factors we want. Okay. So here you see how this says x squared plus 7x plus 10. All right, split bx into those factors. All right, bx meaning this thing in the middle. So I'm going to split 7x into 2x and 5x. Now, I could have wrote 5 here first and 2 here next. It really doesn't matter. Okay. All right, now next up, what is the greatest common factor of ax squared and one of the bx factors? So I want to find what is the greatest common factor of x squared and 2x? That is x. And then I would divide that. I would divide out x from both of those. X squared divided by x is x. 2x divided by x is 2. Plus, the greatest common factor of 5x and 10 is 5. That's literally the only thing that's divisible by both of them. 5x divided by 5, 5x. 10 divided by 5, 2. Okay, you should then notice the parentheses are the same. Notice they both say x plus 2. You can then combine the two greatest common factors into one parenthesis, meaning the x and the 5. And then that x, since the x and the 5 are both being multiplied times x plus 2, they get to combine, and it is now that. And that's the answer. That is the answer. That is us factoring x squared plus 7x plus 10. Okay. Now, let's say I'm doing an example, this next one, where it says y squared plus 6y minus 16. Okay, so now I don't want the factors of a positive number. I want the factors of a negative number because a is 1, y is negative 16. So I want the factors of negative 16. Not only do I want the factors of negative 16, I want the factors of negative 16 that add up to positive 6. So the middle bx number is positive 6. So I want the factors of that. So let's do factors of 16. Like this. So 16 times 1 is 16. Now, if I want to create a positive number as a sum, it'd be -1. So like, all right, so positive 16 times -1 is -16. But if I were to combine, or if I had the sum of 16 plus -1 is 15. So that doesn't work. All right, what are other factors of 16? I got 8 and 2. All right, 8 and 2 are that. Now, if I make the 8 negative, and if I were to add these two numbers together, I get -6. I don't want -6, I want +6. So that means if I make the 2 negative, it is now 8 times -2, which creates -16. And if you add those two numbers together, you get 6. So that's actually the two factors I want. So now I'm going to split bx, which is 6y, into those two factors. So now it is y squared plus 8y minus 2y minus 16. Okay, so I split 6y into positive 8y and negative 2y. All right, the greatest common factors of these two is y. Okay, so the greatest common fact, now notice like I have negatives, like this is negative and this is negative, and that basically means I want my greatest common factor to also be negative. So the greatest common factor of -2y and -16 is -2. And that if I divide -2y divided by -2, I get positive y. -16 divided by -2 is positive 8. Notice the parentheses both say the same thing. That means I can combine the two greatest common factors into one parenthesis, and now I have the factors of this. This would actually be the answer for factoring this. It would be. All right, that is how you do these. Yeah, if you feel like I went too fast or the way I'm doing it is like little doesn't work for you, I mean, yo, you can. This is something you can Google, man. There's like hundreds of videos and websites about this because like this is like one of the most tested things in the SATs, TSI. Uh, you're gonna see. I mean, if you take pre-calculus, you're gonna see this all the time too. All right. I think I'm gonna take this out. Yeah, I'm gonna take that out. All right. So that is it. This will be in the next lesson. So, all right, try your best with this stuff, man, and like, ask for help. And that is it. Have a good day.